hello, Madam Vice President. It's just an honor. I actually have never met you, which is crazy. And hi, Oprah.
That was actually funny. I mean, I'm pretty sure they rehearsed that, but yeah, whatever.
Wait, what did I miss?
She got. We just saw each other the other day. Okay. Oh, hi, Tracy. Hi.
Hi, Oprah. How you doing?
Hi, good. Yeah. This is exciting, though, isn't it? Isn't it exciting?
It's exciting. It's exciting because I believe in democracy. I believe in the future of our country, in reproductive freedom, bodily autonomy, women leading. I believe in decency. The idea of leading with joy and kindness has always been in my DNA. And I'm here both for the seriousness of this election, but the joy with which it is being handled. It is stunning. And then I also really want to remind everybody, it hasn't been mentioned, but voting up and down the ballot
And
is incredibly important.
You know why she's saying voting up and down the ballot is important?
Because she wants you to blow blue no matter who.
Yeah. Yeah. And so whenever we have these conversations about, some people will say, I don't just vote for party this, party that. And I think we are at the point where you're probably going to have to vote for party, because I know some people want to say, hey, I want to, look at both candidates, blah, blah, blah. And at this point, once they get their marching orders, they will vote. They'll push everyone to push for all their candidates, because Republicans are saying it too, which I don't have a problem voting, up and down with the party of choice though. But this is a thing when it comes to with Democrats, I can't trust that they will be on the side of they'll be doing reasonable thinking, because when it comes to issues like dealing with trans people in women's sports, or dealing with surgeries or some sort, a lot of them, they get on board with it, but they don't say it out loud. And so that's a problem for me, because if you're with a party that does stuff like that, that's, just because they're blue, and then, they don't, they're supposed to represent your community, but even though your community doesn't get on board with the surgeries or playing in women's sports, or the even, tampons in boys' bathrooms, then you shouldn't vote for that candidate, or your candidate should actually be able to defect from that. But because of how Democrats run their party, if you don't vote that way, they will push you out of the party. And we saw that happen with who was that? Oh crap! That was Jamal Bowman. He got pushed out, and there was another person. I forgot her name, but she's part of the squad, and so she got pushed out as well too.
I'm going to approach this topic. I'm assuming she's talking to all women. Of course she is. This is a Democratic
debate.
But again, this goes back to something I said last week. Single issue voters are my biggest frustration in politics.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I get it. Abortion's important to you. But there's way more important things going on right now. Bottom line is, if you want one, you can still go get one. If you want to have somebody do all that scraping and look, you can still do it. It's not illegal. Go do it. And especially her, she has money. She has resources.
Yep.
So, but they would rather preach that instead of the accountability side of it. And honestly, when it comes to this subject, the only ones I do have sympathy for are the ones who became pregnant without consent.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, I don't have any sympathy for you. You made a choice. Now, maybe you made the choice and your life was in danger during the process. I understand that one too. I do empathize with that. I'm talking to the ones that are pushing for all this stuff as a form of birth control and then want taxpayers to pay for it. No, yeah. I'm good on that.
Yeah, that is.
She said one good thing on there about voting up and down the ballot, but I'm taking it as look at every single proposition that you're voting for, every single candidate and every single race locally and federally. I'm looking at it that way. But I guarantee you, she said that because she wants you to vote blue down the ballot without doing any research.
Yeah, that's exactly. And whenever it comes to the Republican candidates or even voting in general, I look at all the candidates. That's how I look at it. I'm gonna vote red, but I look at all the candidates and see which ones are going to be a better option for for my vote, who's going to earn my vote, who best represents me. But when it comes to Democrats, like, and there might be some Democrats that do represent me, but unfortunately, because of the party that they're with, I can't trust that they're going to do something that goes against the party, though, because again, we have seen people get pushed out of the party, they get excommunicated, and then you no longer hear from them again. Like I said, Jamal, yeah, like Jamal Bowles. I wish I could remember the chick that was. She just lost her seat. The Democrats pushed in another candidate, and like they're losing their seats to other Democrats. That should be like a red flag for any of the Democrats. Like, you get out of line, they will send people to replace you. And that's the problem with the Democratic Party, like that no one talks about, that the Democrats are like, if you don't toe the company line, or you get too extreme or too progressive, because one way to get them pushed out is talk about the whole Hamas thing. And if you go against that, then they're gonna get rid of you. And so a lot of these Democrats, Democrats for the people, they're not for the people. They're for the party, and the party's ran by a bunch of elitists. And Oprah, who I can't think of a bigger elitist, who's been at the center of so many issues with potential people that have SA'd multiple women, just to name a few, like, Bill Clinton, Diddy, one of the Weinsteins, like she's or Epstein, or it's either Weinstein or Epstein, one of the two, Stein or whatever.
Hey, check this out. I just pulled something up on the Caring Network, which is an advocacy group for pro-choice. Mm-hmm. What percentage of abortions in the United States do you think come from Black women?
Oh, I know it's a high number, so it's probably, I want to say it's probably like between 15 to 30%.
40%.
Wow, I was under. Holy crap!
Almost half of the abortions in this country are Black women.
Yeah,
but we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, and we're gonna kind of get into it, because from the header on this video, we're definitely gonna have a conversation about pushing humanity forward.
Your freedom and your daily life are all the way up and down that ballot. People are policies, and we need the right people in all areas, all positions. And then I would like to say to you two women, thank you for what you represent, because as a 52-year-old childless woman, I want to say to the people who think that a woman's worth is measured in her baby count, I mean, shout out to all the amazing mothers, but the childless women have been mothering the world and elevating culture as aunties, godmothers, teachers, mentors, sisters, and friends, and the list goes on. And you do not need to push out a baby to help push humanity forward.
Amen to that.
Okay, no.
Let me. First of all, she just contradicted herself. She essentially said you can be a mother without being a mother. That's number one. Number two, everything that she said about the mentors and the aunts and the teachers, it's admirable, but it's not the same thing as being a mother. Mothers can never turn it off. If you're an aunt or a grandmother or a teacher or a mentor, you only have to deal with those kids for a certain amount of time, and then you get to go back home to your peaceful and quiet life and count your money and enjoy everything that you want to enjoy whenever you want to. Mm-hmm. These moms is out here sacrificing everything. And for you to kind of compare yourself, and mind you, I'm married, so I see what my wife does for this house. I see the lack of sleep that she gets. I see all the extra overtime she puts in to make sure that the house is clean and I got something good to eat and that her husband is good. And you cannot compare these two. It does not compare. And my last thing I'm gonna say on this is, I don't understand why these women who are refusing to have kids have to take these little subconscious jabs at moms and feminine women. Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, what was the Chiefs kicker's name that gave the speech after graduation? He was kind of saying, he basically said it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom and a wife. That's admirable. There's pride in that. There is. These are the women we need to be elevating and supporting. If you made the choice to not have a kid, or if you that's your choice. If you can't have kids, that's a different story. But there's no need to compare and put each other at battle like this. It's pointless. It's a distraction.
Yeah. You want to know something funny? I'm gonna pull this back up. I was trying to find a clip on it or with them. So is it weird that the okay? Let's see. Right here, no kid, and as no kid. So you have three prominent Black women who are advocating for abortion rights in the Black community, or at least that's how it's going to be seen. Abortion, and I know white women will get on board with that as well too, because I know the liberal white women, the abortion is a hill they die on. But you have three prominent Black women, and I'm calling Kamala Black, even though I don't believe she's black, but that's a conversation for another day. But for Kamala, she is she's never given birth to a Black kid, and then for people to say that she's Black, then she's advocating for abortion for your Black babies. And then you have Oprah, and Oprah never given birth to a Black kid. Not, I mean, maybe she did, but we don't know of. So Oprah's never given birth to a Black kid. And then also you have Tracy Ellis Ross, who has never given birth to a Black kid. And to my knowledge, they've never gone on public and I mean on the record and said they've had an abortion. So have you had an abortion? And then also, why don't you have any kids? Because I never hear anyone talk about Kamala. Why does Kamala have any fucking kids? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you'll ask every man about their kids or why they don't have any kids. Shit, Tim Scott, he was getting pressure to find a woman to marry.
And
like,
people were making fun of him for being a virgin too.
Yeah. I mean, you can't being a 40-year-old virgin. That's tough. I can see
it also shows a lot of discipline. I can't be me.
Yeah.
Look, man, when I was engaged, we went celibate, and I was struggling. I don't know how he does it, but props to him, man.
Yeah. I mean, if you never
here's
had
another thing, though. You talk about these three prominent women. I would imagine that they're talking to men too, but which one of them has a healthy dynamic with the Black men?
Yeah. Tracy is single, Oprah is single, and Kamala is married to a whoish gentleman.
In love for you love, don't get me wrong, but these
are the people that we've elevated in the Black community. I don't mean we, like you and I, but these are the people that we've elevated. We said Kamala is Black because of her dad, and then we've said Oprah, who just got eviscerated a couple months ago over the Hawaii fires, and not to mention her connection to multiple celebrities or presidents that have been connected to SA situations. But they love Oprah now. And Tracy Ellis Ross, Tracy, she's in her 50s. She's living her life. Like, nobody's going to have the life that even for a 50-year-old, nobody's going to have that life that Tracy has. She's amazing at her craft. Nobody's taking anything from her when it comes to acting. She's a phenomenal actor. But when it comes to talking to just regular women and 50, first of all, you're in your 50s. So kids not even on the tables for you. And for the most part, kids probably been on the tables for you for at least 10 years. But again, none of them ever had the conversation. Have you had an abortion? And why didn't you have any kids? That's what I want to know. Why don't you guys have kids? Or why have you had an abortion? And no one has brought that up on any of these three women who are telling women to go out there and vote and fight for the right for an abortion, knowing that abortion will never be taken off of the table. Abortion will never be illegal. So if you want to get an abortion, your state has pretty strict laws, then that's your state voting for it. So either create a new party or campaign for it. I don't care what you do, or go across state lines. I shouldn't have to go a straight line. Then you should close your legs. That's just what it is. You should just close your legs when it came to talking about abortion rights or abortion access. I don't know why that's a difficult conversation, because people don't want to. I don't know if they just don't want to be told by a man that you need to practice abstinence or keep your legs closed. But whatever the situation is, these are the women that are being elevated, telling Black women, and they're also forcing Black men. And I'm going to say Black men. I know there were some white men in the audience, but they're real. Actually, I don't remember seeing that many Black men. I saw a lot of white men in there, but they're forcing men to be okay with that. And it's like, no, well, I know for the most part in the United States, a man can't, tell a woman not to get an abortion, but doesn't mean you can't try. Doesn't mean you can't have that conversation with her. And you should, absolutely. You don't want to have an abortion, then you got to talk to her. You got to have that conversation with her and convince her not to have that abortion. But I'll be damned if these three folks, these elitist folks, are going to tell me or tell just regular people that, hey, you got to fight for your abortion access. None of you have given birth to a Black baby.
So the whole my body, my choice thing, or if you're not a man, you shouldn't be in these conversations. Here's my counterpoint to that. If you're talking about getting taxpayer dollars involved in this, I can say whatever the hell I want to about this because I pay taxes. And I say this is silly and a waste of time. That's a very good point. Unless you got pregnant without your consent or unless you or the child's life is in danger. Everybody else, I have no sympathy for you. You made your choice. Society has a safety blanket for every mistake that a woman makes. If she goes homeless, there's women's homeless shelters. If she wants to get an abortion, she's got all these advocacies like Planned Parenthood. Meanwhile, if we fail at something, we got to pick ourselves up and figure it out. So again, here's the question. Are we equal or not? Are we equal? Or are you these precious gems that we are supposed to protect, lead, and care for? Yeah. Make up your mind and let me know, because if we're equal, you're going to get this smoke, and I'm going to tell you no taxpayer dollars for this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And one more point on the my body, my choice. Back in that 2020 thing that was going around, who was the party that forced people to either get vaccinated or you would lose your job, you would lose your position in the military, they would close your business? There was only one party doing that. So that whole my body, my choice, it's funny how people forget about that 2020 incident, but they want to talk about when it comes to abortion. Nope, you can't talk about it. Well, you know what? Who else can't talk about it? Kamala, Oprah, and Tracy Ellis Ross. They can't have kids, so they can't talk about it.
Yeah, as far as we know. But then again, this is a distraction. Can we focus on the fact that World War III is coming up? Yeah. The economy is trash. Yeah. Can we focus on that stuff? Can we focus on the fact that people who aren't even U.S. citizens have access to stuff that we can't even get access to? Yeah. Like this is what your number one issue is, really?
Yeah. No, you know the crazy thing? So I look at all the exit polls of the last couple of elections, and the majority of the time when it comes to women, and even with the primaries, when it came to women on the liberal side, their number one thing was abortion. And it's like, we're on the verge of multiple wars. The economy, and at the time, the economy wasn't doing the best. And I still don't think the economy is doing that good. And people are still getting blown up at, with inflation and grocery prices. But at that time, I mean, people, they still say, you would think the economy would be the number one issue or border would be the number one issue. Nope, it's abortion access. That is the hill they want to die on. And also like protecting the war over in other places, making sure that our foreign policies are great. Like, no, this is why America First needs to be something that needs to be in like every classroom, because you need to take care of home first before you can start taking care of people across the world or people that are coming into the country and they're getting all this access to benefits. And I'd be damned, like abortion's not even in the top 5. I'm sorry. And, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, you're a guy, you don't care. Like, there's a lot of women that can't have kids. They shouldn't matter either. Like everybody got upset about, the whole catless thing that with JD Vance. I'm like, well, y'all can't have kids. What if we went to a situation where if you did have kids that you could vote? But also I wouldn't think that would blow up in his face, because we do have a lot of liberal in certain communities that do have a lot of kids. But if you just just say, hey, if you are in a nuclear family, you get this, your vote gets multiplied by however many points. Like, that's why I think people, I mean, I know it'll never happen, but that might be a conversation that needs to happen, though, because those are the people that are impacted the most. And I don't want to see any cream pie bills, the child tax credit. That don't help me. That don't help anybody that can't have kids. That doesn't help anybody that, that doesn't have kids, or they don't plan on having more kids. None of those cream pie bills, they don't help people like us. They don't help people that are not having kids. So you're incentivizing people to, if you don't even have to be a nuclear family, you just single parent home, you're gonna get like $6,000 or something, whatever she's pushing out. And this is why the Democrat Party is as bad for the U.S. and really just the U.S., but also just down the pipeline, because it doesn't help families. It breaks up families, if you want to be honest about it.
Dude, the fact that you just said cream pie during an abortion conversation is wild to me.
Hey, no, but it's absolutely true. I hate them. That's why I was like, so you just giving them $6,000, $10,000? Well, I mean, why stop at $6,000? Make it $10,000 just because they got cream pie? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, man. And I do think medical reform is an important issue, but abortion is a very small percentage of medical reform. There's just so many other things I would add on top of that. But that's a different conversation for a different day.
Yep. All right. We're gonna jump to the next topic, which is dealing with Tia Mowry and her home or her sibling situation.